CHE 4356-001, Process Safety with Dr. Brandon Weeks at Texas Tech University, Critter Safety while at work with McKinsey. Well, howdy folks. My name is Mackenzie Gentry and I'm a chemical engineering senior at TTU. I'm from a small town just northeast of DFW, and I've had the privilege of having multiple industry experiences in different parts of both the great state of Texas as well as in Tennessee. And whether I was indoor or outdoor, in the city or in the country, there were critters aplenty. This video is for my process safety class, and I decided to talk about something near and dear to my heart: critter safety in the workplace. While doing my first co-op in industry, I was taken aback by the sheer size of the blend vessels, the number of forklifts zipping around, and all of the GHS stickers everywhere. Some of these I expected to some extent, but what I completely forgot about was the potential presence of critters. Some scary, some adorable, and some just outright mischievous. Each critter pictured is one that I've come in contact with firsthand while working over the past few years. It was no joke when I saw a black widow hiding in the corner of my office, or the time I heard a hissing sound near the tanks. Maybe it was the tanks venting off, or maybe it could have been a snake. Or the time I had a barn swallow dive for my head. Squirrels, small birds, rats, coyotes, dogs, honeybees, dirt daubers, and more are just a few of the many critters that I've seen while at work, and each one presents its own hazards. While not in the scope of this video, I strongly urge viewers to research the local wildlife near their places of work to better understand that while the trash panda bandits known as raccoons might be adorable, they can also host and spread rabies. In the middle of the slide is a new communication tool to understand and identify hazards in industry. While it might not seem intuitive, critters, either dead or alive, and their feces present a major biological hazard in the workplace, whether that be mild discomfort or needing to be hospitalized after the interaction. Just like taking off your work boots in the utility room of your home because of the concerns of trace chemical residue, pigeon poop should also be of concern so you aren't tracking in hazards for your pets and children to crawl into. Another aspect is that keeping the animals out of the facility is important for their health and safety as well. Even if they don't quite understand the hazards at hand lurking behind a 50-gallon drum or a blend vessel of an acutely toxic material left open overnight with the bay door venting out the area, and they just might fall into it while being nosy. They don't understand that sleeping under a forklift might lead to their demise in a loud and fast-paced environment, or that by crawling under a big red frack tank, they might not be able to crawl back out. Based on the hierarchy of controls diagram, it seems obvious that removing a hazard entirely is the best route to go. But what about critters? How exactly would you eliminate them from the equation? Looking at an example of stray cats entering the facility, physically removing the hazard in this case would potentially mean having an exterminator pursue the cats. This could lead to bad publicity for the facility and negatively affect morale among the workers at the site. The next option would be to replace the hazard. More coyotes means less cats. However, this presents an entirely new can of worms to deal with and might not be the best solution pragmatically or public perception-wise either. Signs to not pet the cats would probably deter workers, but the cats would still be present in the process area. Same thing with providing workers with PPE to handle the animals if they must. The yellow area just in the middle in this situation is seemingly the best option by either non-lethal poisoning, deterring, or trapping and relocating the cats. You might be asking yourself, but how? Where do I look for industrial-sized solutions for industrial-sized problems? Well, my friends, I recommend that you go where you will likely go for many things in your career: Grainger, for the ones who get it done. As you can see, there are multiple options for critter control available on the market with varying levels of effectiveness, range, and price. You can trap the cats, remove their incentive to come into the facility via poisoning rats and snakes. Yeah, that didn't go the direction you expected, did you? Or deter them with decoy figures. Similar approaches can be used on other animals, but in general there are solutions to removing the critters from the process area. You just need to have a holistic understanding of the public perception, hazard trade-off, and prices associated with approaching the problem. But Mackenzie, what about the critters that get through the fence anyways and cannot be persuaded to stay away? Well, I would urge you to remember to take a moment to identify the critter. Keep calm and carry on. Back away from the critter, making sure not to corner them and provoke them to attack you. Report the sighting either to your supervisor, hazard recognition program, or EHS representative, and then follow up to make sure that either an email communication was sent out, it was discussed in the safety meeting, maintenance was tasked with mitigating the hazard, or other methods of follow-up depending on the critter and the interaction outcome. I cannot emphasize this enough. Do not engage with the critters yourself in the moment, even if it seems like something you can handle. Cats do not wear a sign saying they have rabies or not. Coyotes won't take nicely to being put into a headlock. And snakes will not give you a 3, 2, 1 before striking. Do the right thing and have the right people at the right time with the right tools do the right job. At the end of the day, I hope you have learned or remembered how important it is to stay on your toes when it comes to interacting with critters in the workplace. Like typical household cleaners such as ammonia, typical household pets such as cats and dogs present different hazards in quantity and context. There are more than one way to mitigate critter hazards, and each one must be tailor fit for the critter for maximum effectiveness. And last but not least, keeping critters away from the facility is important because the wildlife that we coexist with in the remote areas we work in deserve to be able to go home to their families at night, just like us. So keeping them away from the hazards they don't quite understand or can appreciate like we do is an immense service to them by keeping both them and us out of harm's way. Thank you so very much for watching my presentation. Please like, discuss, share, and recall this video by using the comment feature, subscribing to Dr. Week's channel, texting the video link to a friend, and by remembering the video next time you see an animal at work. Stay safe out there.